Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredders Revenge can only be described in one way and one way only: nostalgia. As an 80s baby who was a kid in the 90s, who went to the arcades, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was always a game that had players on the regular, and it was always available. And at times, you wouldn't go and play Street Fighter. You wouldn't go and play foosball. No, you would go and play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And this game pays homage to that retro arcade brawler fighting game to perfection. Everything from the game's presentation, whether regards it's the graphics, the audio, soundtrack, sound effects, all of it scream nostalgia. And even the core gameplay is nostalgia. When you fire up the game and you get the intro, you literally get like this 80s cartoon intro for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, it was just absolutely perfect. And just like a brawler game, the game has a simple story and its simple gameplay mechanics to match that arcade formula. There are some modern tropes added to the game. When you fire it up, you have a tutorial, you pick your character, each character has their pros and cons, each character even has their own specific progression. So essentially, you don't want to bounce from character to character as you progress through the game's relatively short 3-hour story. No, you want to stick with one character because that character will gain more HP and more supercharge for their super abilities later in the game. So it does reward sticking with one character. The game does do a good job of easing you in, as right when you fire it up, as you saw, you have an easy tutorial that explains everything as simple as it is. The game itself is very, very easy to play, but it does have the modern mechanics such as the progression and super abilities, as well as making the characters a little bit different. But all of this is done while maintaining that simple arcade formula of one attack button, one jump button. Yes, there's more to it in this game, but it maintains that level of simplicity that just about anybody can jump in and play this game. The best part about the game is that it also has 3 difficulty settings, so you can start on easy and work your way up as you play through the game. I said that the game is relatively short, and it is. It is clocked in at about 3 hours, so it is not overly long, and that is just on the standard easiest difficulty. As you increase the difficulty, it will increase, as well as if you play with larger groups of players, as this game does allow for 6-player co-op. If you play the game with more characters, the enemies have more HP, therefore taking you a little bit longer to complete it. Now, I speak about multiplayer, and yes, this game does support 6-player co-op. Unfortunately, the cross-play system in this game is only available for PC and Xbox. If you are on any other platforms other than that, there is no cross-play. What makes it worse is that if you are on PlayStation 5, you can only play with PlayStation 5 players. You can't even have cross-gen within that same family. PS4 players cannot play with PS5. As well as, when it comes to 6-player co-op, the game becomes a mess. It is one of the probably biggest negatives about the game. Is as cool as it is to play with 5 friends or what have you, and it's easy to do so at any point throughout your playthrough, it is clustered. Half the time when you play with 4 or more players, it is very difficult to see what is happening and hard to follow. You're not sure if you're hitting or being hit with all the action that's happening on screen. So it is something to make note of that. Personally, I would recommend playing the game with about 4 or less, because once you go above 4, it really does become a significant mess. The last issue I had with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is its price tag. $30 Canadian is a little rich for a 3-hour game that you'll probably play once, and once you finish it, you might dab every now and then to have some, shits and giggles with friends, but $30 is a little rich. I think this game should have been about $20 Canadian, so about, maybe $15 American. So I do think it's a little rich. However, if you are on PC and you are on Xbox, it is on Game Pass, which is absolutely perfect. Overall, as someone who's an 80s baby, I highly recommend Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredders Revenge. It brought back a lot of nostalgia, and if you're on Game Pass, I mean, it's a must play. To me, I'm giving Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles an 8.5 out of 10. This is Veteran Gamer, and I hope to see you guys next time.